Often when I'm talking to blokes about the best mangrove jack lures, we start talking about how expensive the game is chasing them with hard bodies. But I've got for you one of the cheapest and I reckon one of the best diving lures that you can use for a mangrove jack if you're throwing in and around structure, and it's not going to break the bank if you lose a few.
Oh! Oh, pulled it out of his mouth. Got it.
Got it again. Jack, isn't it?
What? I saw it twice. Yes. Yep.
Oh wow, great fish. Beautiful fish. Well done. Let me get the net for you. First time around, eh? Yes! Oh, it's a good fish too. Oh, just from under that shadow line. We've been fishing the deep rock bar for about 40 minutes with nothing. And there's a reason for it, I reckon. Because right over the other side is some shadowed, undercut banks. And this is where all the bait is, so there's a good fish. It was literally first cast. So funny, like we're always going on about how good rock bars are and the deeper water, but yeah, just weren't getting anything, so we changed our tact, and God, he was so aggressive the way he took that.
Beautiful fish.
Yeah.
Well done, mate.
He's probably high 30s, I'd say.
Maybe 40.
Yeah, be going close. So
You want the mat?
yeah, we'll put it back. The mat's okay. It's all good. We'll chuck him back, mate. This is going to surprise you because these things are in a lot of bins and they're only like $5 or less at times. This is a Berkley Fire Stick, and it's Berkley FS9, so it's a 9cm fire stick. Let me show you what it's all about. If you know your jack lures and you look at this thing, you're like, there is no way I'm going to fish with this thing. It's componentry, it's terminal stuff, the hooks, the rings on it, they're just way too small and it's all going to bend out. But what you've got in this little fire stick is a body that just works so well in the water, especially with an aggressive mangrove jack style of retrieve. The finish on these things, my favourite ones are a gold, and my good mate Pete, who looks after me with my ski and helps me out with a lot of my fishing and adventure stuff, he's built my trailer, he built my racks, my big racks for my kayak. This is the lure that he loves to throw, and I've caught a whole heap of them after I saw him doing the same stuff. He's got about 50 of these things, but if you look at the shape of the body, doesn't it just look like a little potty? That's it. It's the FS9M, and it's a Berkley Fire Stick. There's the packet, Berkley Frenzy Lures. These are in all the throw out bins. You just got to put heavier hooks on them, right? And I usually take that front ring off, and sometimes we'll replace with a little bit heavier rings at the back. But if you run like a 56 BC by owner, the size 6s, the 2X, 2 times strong owners on the back of these, it actually sits beautifully and suspends perfectly in salt water. The action on this, it's super tight. You can see from the shape of the bib there that it's going to have a nice slender tight action, which is what I use with a lot of my diving lures, and it gets down there fairly deep. It's about a 3-metre diver. One of the big mistakes I see blokes getting into fishing for mangrove jack with is they use just shallow diving lures. You want to have like a 3-metre diver to get you going, and one of these, or you buy a handful of these, and if you lose it, you're not going to be too worried. They've got a little rattle in them like that, and boy do they move about all over the place. You can rip them hard, which is the way I like to fish them, with a really heavy stick. I use an 8 to 10 kilo bait casting 5'6" rod, and my little Shimano Curados, and with about 20-pound line and leader, you can pull some great fish in on this. So there you go. That's probably the cheapest and best diving lure for jacks I reckon that's around. if you're one of these blokes that's super worried about losing lures and the cost of it, which I suppose at times we all are, aren't we? This is a good way to start. Or if you want to get your kids into it, give them a couple of these and get them going for mangrove jack this season. It's the Berkeley Fire Stick FS9M.